Joining me now, Tim Smith, President and CEO at US GoldMining. Hello, sir. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. So the shares of the company took off recently. You had some drilling results at the project in Alaska, Whistler, and essentially you're doubling the size of the resource. So can you expand on what happened there?
Well, first of all, we didn't double the size of the resource, but we doubled the size of the indicated classification within the resource. So I just want to make that distinction.
Okay.
We certainly took a big chunk of inferred within the Whistler deposit itself and converted that to indicated. In fact, we had about a 117% increase from just shy of 3 million gold equivalent ounces indicated originally to now over 6.5 million gold equivalent ounces indicated. At the same time, we did actually add some metal overall, around 13% total on that resource update. So it was certainly a very positive resource update in terms of growth and improvement in the classification, therefore the confidence of that resource. And it was very pleasing to see the market react to that and to some of the drill results that were brought out. And of course, that 2024 mineral resource estimate update was on the back of the 2023 drilling. We're seeing so far more positive results come out of the 2024 drilling, which is yet to be folded into a new resource update.
And you've discovered another high-grade zone, and I understand that you really think that you're on to a very high-grade mine here, correct?
Well, we have a beautiful high-grade core. I mean, it's a porphyry. The Whistler copper-gold system is a porphyry. The Whistler deposit itself is a gold-rich porphyry. We're talking about a porphyry that has about 70% of the value in the gold component. The remaining 30%, the majority of that is in the copper. It's a big copper deposit in its own right. There's some silver as well. So we do like the fact that we have the trifecta, as we like to call it, of those three metals, gold, copper, silver, that are all doing very well. Obviously, gold at record highs, copper and silver looking very strong as well in terms of their growth into the future.
So today we have a President Trump 2.0, and he said that he really wants to maximize the mining potential in Alaska. Could that mean federal funding for infrastructure? Could that mean easier regulations? What do you think?
We already have some federal funding for infrastructure in place for this project. And this was before Trump 2.0. This was actually during Biden 1.0. But we have in place in Alaska a Republican governor, Governor Mike Dunleavy, who is very supportive of mining. Alaskans in general know that their economy is based on their natural resources and obviously the exploration, the development, and the extraction of those resources. So what we're currently enjoying is a great relationship with the state regulators and the state government and their various agencies, including the Alaska Department of Transportation, which has so far allocated around 85 to 90 million US to build the first 25 miles of road on the West Susitna Access Road that will connect Whistler with the port facility at Port Mackenzie, which is just across the water from Port Anchorage, and which connects us into highway, rail, and grid power. So there's already some money allocated. And more recently, I think, President Trump has been on record as saying he wants to make, and I think I'm quoting him here correctly, he wants to make mining in Alaska great again. He has a great relationship with Mike Dunleavy. We actually thought for a little while there that he wanted to take Mike Dunleavy away from Alaska and make him Secretary of the Department of the Interior. Kind of glad he didn't, because Mike Dunleavy is so good for exploration and resource development in the great state of Alaska. But certainly we think if President Trump can remove some of that federal overreach that Alaskans really dislike with a passion, that will certainly remove some headwinds in terms of the permitting and the development of future mining opportunities in Alaska. And Whistler can only benefit from that.
Tim, as far as your background, you were at Kaminak when it got taken over by Goldcorp for more than $500 million. You've said that companies are mid-tier and majors. They like your project. They're looking at you. So ultimately, what's the end game with US GoldMining?
Well, regardless of the end game, whether we're pitching to get bought out or we're going to build this ourselves, the work that we're doing right now would be the same work. We need to make it bigger. We need to make it high grade. We need to remove the risks. We need to put it on a clear line of sight through to permitting by undertaking the baseline work and the stakeholder engagement. We're doing all of that. My colleague Alistair Still, our chairman, and myself, we both work for the majors. We know what the majors are looking for, so we certainly know the scrutiny, the level of detail, that needs to be undertaken in the database and the geologic model that underpins the resource and so on to build a compelling study that could get the majors or the mid-tiers interested. We're doing that anyway, regardless of whether we're pitching to them or whether we think we're going to go on and build it. We've both built mines ourselves. Alistair, for example, ran the construction of the Cerro Negro gold mine in Argentina for Goldcorp back in the early 2000s. We're not scared of doing that. It would be a significant lift for us in terms of growing our company to do that, but we're not putting a for sale sign out. In the meantime, if somebody wants to come along and make us an offer that we can't refuse, whether it's a toehold, whether it's a joint venture, whether it's an acquisition, certainly we'll consider that and put that to our shareholders. And obviously we're looking for the maximum exit for our shareholders.
Lastly, Tim, you've been laying out the case a little bit here, but when you're at events like this, when you're talking to investors, potential investors, what's the 30-second pitch essentially?
This is a big project. It has all the hallmarks of being Alaska or potentially even North America's next big development story, with abundant exploration upside as well. I'm an explorationist at heart. I'm really excited about the possibility of finding another Whistler. We're talking about a porphyry cluster system here. We've found 3 that currently make up our existing mineral resource estimate. We see lots of exciting targets in that area to make a brand new discovery. So whether it's a new discovery or whether it's simply advancing what we already have through preliminary economic assessment into feasibility and seeing that re-rating of the ounces in the ground as we de-risk and move the project forward, I think there's a lot of upside here for investors and a lot of news flow coming up in 2025. Still some drill results to come out for the 2024 drilling. There's 3 more holes to come. We should be in a position in the coming weeks to be able to release those. And then moving into the back end of Q1 and Q2, we'll be looking at putting some news out about what our outlook is for 2025.
Thank you for all the information and the update. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Tim. Tim Smith, President and CEO at US GoldMining.